Previously on Game Woven, the people of Overton and Nairburn worked to live together in their now shared home. Despite tensions, scarcity, and occasional conflict, good faith efforts to share what was made or discovered kept the peace. Curious Overtonians explored the surrounding environment and its curses, discovering an ancient communications network and local connections to the traveling god before many of them became employed in a new occupation, collecting honey from the giant flying scorpions who took up residence on the underside of the bridge. Many from Nairburn spent their years constructing an aqueduct to bring water from the ruins of the sanctuary into the city. Upon its completion, the magic of the water itself took hold, filling the needs of both communities, bringing them closer together than ever before to face new challenges and struggles as they begin to again feel the call of the traveling god.
Emily, discover something new, hold a discussion, start a project.
I think I have to do my least favorite thing to ever do. I have to start a discussion.
No!
I'm bad at that.
Based. So you can start with a statement, and then that's the only thing you have to say, or you can start with a question.
Yeah, because I know we've got the tension between the two groups, and then we just made that nice little discovery about the shrine. Starting with Overton, because I'm going to give my statement and be done with it. I know some people see this connection as those of us from Overton trying to place some sort of claim over your land and community, but that cannot be further from the truth for me. I think what this is something that should help bring us together and accept that we are both meant to and fine to be here and exist as we are.
I've heard many of your people claiming that we worship your god. But who's to say she wasn't our goddess first? What makes you think she didn't start her journey here and then came to your place? And yet you've come here and demanded that we help you. Maybe you were brought here to help us by the goddess that we worshipped first.
Children, have we learned nothing from her? The start, the end, it's not the important parts of travel. That's the human part, the why, the materials. That's not what she cares about. That's not what matters. It is the travel, the journey, that matters in the end.
Hey, Bridge Boy! Yeah, get Scorpion, Bridge Boy!
Gale teaches us, I think, one thing above all others. And that is, it does not matter what comes first nor last. We are here, collectively, for a reason. It doesn't matter who built the shrine or who DeGale blessed or cursed first. DeGale has set us on the same road so that we could be together.
I think we leave it to our goddess to reveal the truth. Perhaps a quest or pilgrimage. We can send our people on together. And with that, we'll find answers.
So ends the discussion. That was a good discussion.
Incredible.
I'm Mom's favorite. No, I'm Mom's favorite.
A little bit.
Scorpions.
Can't we just all get along?
Bree, it is your card. Where does everyone sleep? Who is unhappy with this arrangement and why? Or, what natural predators roam this area? Are you safe?
Oh, I'm gonna go with natural predators. I'm gonna six it. It's time we have some monsters, because the flying scorpions are apparently not a whole lot of a problem.
I mean, they for sure suck. Like,
Oh, they're not great, but I also don't feel like they hunt people.
Yeah, I don't tend to get my honey from a predator.
There's a reason that the sand scorpions hide in the shade. It's because they are hunted by these lizard-like creatures that blend in with the dunes, and they haven't congregated. They usually wouldn't have like large groups of them together. The sort of colony around the base of the mountain used to be a lot smaller, but with the bridge there are now significantly more. And some people find out that anthill, not home to ants.
Oh no!
I was hoping you'd bring that in.
So glad you did that, you monster.
So we just it takes a while before the first person sees these giant. It almost like blends in with the way that like the scales reflect the light. It's like it creates a mirage, almost like a heat ripple passing over. And it's kind of hard to tell that they're coming until it's too late.
That's very narrathmatic.
Also, I have just caused a significant problem for the town that didn't used to be a problem for Nearbird until this bridge showed up and suddenly there's more prey for these giant death lizards.
Yeah, let's add into contempt.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's a contempting.
That's a contempting if I ever seen one.
Then the folks from Overton can look over the side and be like, "Yeah, get lizard,
Yeah, lizard did.
get lizarded."
Maybe if you were nicer, we'd let you up here.
Question maybe make the lizards look cooler. We said they like the scales shimmer with like mirage stuff, right? Is it a natural like the scales are like reflective or prismatic or something, or is it magic mirage lizards?
I think it's just the nature of like the scales. They have been naturally developed the ability to blend in. I mean, there might have been some magic early on, but this is just naturally how they are. Also, I just realized if it's you can't see it coming for you, but if you're looking from a height, they're easier to spot.
Ooh. Oh, can I throw something on that that's gonna make that work
Yes.
even more?
Put some butter on that bread.
I'm gonna butter that bread. So the scales, yes, they are naturally sort of like semi-refractive and help with that and look sandy. They also have along their back, they have spines with sort of glassy, prismatic looking membranes that refract light and sand even more. And so when they're hunting, and this is why they're easy to spot from up top, because from the side and from the front, the spined webbing, I can't think of the actual word for it, but the spined webbing along their backs and sides and limbs and stuff, from the back and front makes it really hard because they're like projecting all of this light through the sand and stuff. But from the top, that shit doesn't do nothing. So they just look like big lizards.
Yeah.
Do you think the mirrors are made out of these lizards?
Maybe.
Possibly, or they got the idea from the lizard.
Mmm.
I don't know if whoever built the mirrors were aware of the giant hive of mirage lizards.
Fair.
Oh, they were aware of it. They just didn't know what was in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think that so the hunting tactic is it like skims along the surface of the sand and makes it so you basically can't see it. But once it's like close enough where you can start to hear and like see the like sand moving and stuff, it just fully extends the like sail on its back, like the membrane, and it just like flashbangs you. It just blinds you with this like sudden appearance of just like wham! Sail! Sail!
I honestly,
Would it make sense for them to also then have like a frill too?
yes, absolutely, they have a
Yes.
frill. And I think they don't do a hiss; they almost do like this loud bark.
I like to imagine it's like, you know, those dog barks that like hit you right in the chest, like it like vibrates your like ribs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so it literally is like a concussive effect. Right when they're striking, they do this. Oh, that's fucked up, Bree. What the hell?
I love it.
You should stop being surprised when I make messed up things.
Thanks, I hate it. We adjust the die. Do we have any projects?
No.
We have no project. So, Bree, you take an action, discover something new, hold a discussion, start a project.
It's been a while since we had projects, so yeah, I'm going to start a project because we've been communicating with these like distant communities, and we've had some travelers come in. I think there's some people who maybe are getting a little frustrated with how crowded Nairburn is feeling and having to deal with all the nonsense that is brought about by this bridge being here. So I think there are multiple groups that decide that they are going to go on a pilgrimage to each of these 12 different sites to like bring knowledge and find out what they know and like establish communication, also because some of them I don't think want to come back. They've lost too much and it's just been too weird, and also the barking invisible death lizards. It's just, nope, I'm done.
How long do you picture this taking?
3 years, I'll say 3.
3 years. Okay.
We exclusively do 3-year projects.
Pitch.
Lex has a pitch.
All of the pilgrimages are done in pairs of 2, one from Nairburn and one from Overton. Like a loose attempt to foster something with each other, and like as like a with DeGale.
I like it. I like that.
I desperately need one of the pairs to be those teenagers who fought. Oh, yeah!
And then they fall in love.
Oh,
Yeah.
and then they're boyfriends.
Ooh.
We can figure that out in a patchwork, maybe.
That would be such a good patchwork.
So, I was thinking that it was going to be larger groups, but perhaps each of the groups is led by a pair, one from Nairburn, one from...
I love that. I was going to do that one too. I think that's great. I want to pull a contempt off of Nairburn for that.
The grumpier people are leaving, including the 2 probably adults now.
Well, the grumpier people are leaving.
The feuding now adults are gone.
I think it's also a massive show of good faith from Overton to contribute almost a dozen of like their most competent people.
Yeah, they probably sent like runners or hunters.
They're sending good folk.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have a ton of people to spare. So.
Yeah, that's also a big show of faith in their goddess that she's not going to make the bridge go away before they get back.
Yeah,
I mean, they're
It's really-
traveling, so that helps.
that is a huge leap
Yeah.
of faith.
Yeah.
Overtonian hunters now are combat bungee jumpers because they're hunting the fucking scorpions.
And that's sick as fuck.
That's really cool.
They've probably also started figuring out aerial assaults for dealing with the lizards.
Oh yeah, they've probably got a whole like scheme. I think that's so cool. Rob, are you ready?
There's a leper bee.
Oh yeah, this is a good one. Unironically, this might be one of my favorite spring cards. An old piece of machinery is discovered, broken but perhaps repairable. What is it? What would it be useful for? Or, An old piece of machinery is discovered, cursed and dangerous. How does the community destroy it?
Ooh, yeah. Here's the idea. I need a little bit of help to get me there. So, some dope shit was found in the Blasted Lands.
Nice.
It's super duper cursed, but would be great. The plan is if they can just drag it into the warehouse ghosts can fix it. But what is the machine like? What's the thing that they're like that's worth all this trouble to grab? That's the thing I'm stuck on.
I think it might be war engines that were created by the Inscrutable for this final battle that are corruptions of like human war engine.
Perhaps something like a tank.
Yeah, I don't think it's human tech. I think it's Inscrutable tech.
Yeah, because one thing we established is the Inscrutables, when they steal the knowledge, they could make the things people invented and discovered, but it's always just a little bit off.
There was also heavy use of spheres for things.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was always
really
spherical.
sphere.
Yeah. It was a lot of spheres.
That's helpful. So, the Inscrutable use for these is essentially a self-propelling sphere, which is really good at being just like a battering ram. That then also, I don't know if they had, we're going to say there were some kind of like physical foot troops the Inscrutables used, is my assumption. They weren't fighting an intangible enemy. So then what it was designed to do is basically it's a giant like metal bathysphere that is a wheel. So kind of like a mixture of bathysphere and like the little like orbs from Jurassic World, like the new Jurassic Park movies where you can ride around a little orb. So what it was supposed to do, drive forward at like max speed, smash through a wall or a gate, and then shoot these like tubes with like foot soldiers inside of them, so that would then open and the soldiers would like come out of the tube, so that like the tube would then like shrapnel like shoot out and maybe impale a soldier or go through into a door or whatever. Because like these people didn't care about whatever like meat thing. So it's like, oh no, maybe the foot soldier might die, but like this would be a really great way to get around not having to worry about a death lizard if you can just make it, you know, something you can survive using.
Yeah, that is pretty badass, but the only thing I can think of is like, you've made a giant hamster ball of death.
Yes.
That is also a Trojan horse.
What you've made is a great way to travel over desert terrain regardless of the dunes and the shifting sand.
Right.
However, now these are broken, right? These don't work currently.
Correct. So what I would like to do is the project is getting these to the ghost warehouse and trying to get help the ghost warehouse fix them.
You are flying so close to the fucking sun with this. I just need you to know.
I think I'm going to remove a contempt on account of that being sick as fuck.
What? Oh.
Everyone liked that.
Everyone liked that.
How long does it take for them to do this project?
I gotta say 2 years.
2 years?
Easily.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Zad, it is your card.
Absolutely, let's go.
A young boy starts digging in the ground and discovers something unexpected. What is it? Or an old man confesses to past crimes and atrocities. What has he done?
I think it's one of the oldest and most well-respected professors in the college in Nairburn. Runs the university, has dedicated his life to sharing knowledge, and has been there longer than anybody can remember, kind of a disturbingly long time. He finally, I think, breaks down one day. Who would be an interesting person to confess to?
It's got to be an Overtonian, right?
Yeah.
It depends on what he's confessing.
Well, it's an Overtonian who has become, over the last few years, sort of a star pupil, but has that, like, itch, is, like, looking to get out, needs adventure. And the dean pulls him aside and says, well, you know, I've lived a long and ultimately wonderful life. Instructed many students and seen many great works done by them. And now, at what I can only assume is the end of it all, I can tell you that I only have one regret. And he takes the student into his office and pulls aside a secret panel. And what's mounted on there is a fish skeleton. Koi fish. I ate this when I was not much older than you. I kept that information much to myself. And, well, I learned things that I perhaps should have done something with. However, I knew that were I to not utilize the knowledge that I got from that fish, I would, well, live until I made good use of it. And so now I pass it on to you. And he hands the kid and hands the adventurer a notebook. It says, now, as you know, the sanctuary to the north of the city was more or less destroyed recently in a great battle against a terrible foe. Contained within is everything the fish taught me about their origins, the source of their power. And yes, they've been destroyed for now, but they could return. Maybe if I had said something sooner, the fish would still be in the pond and fewer people would have died, but I wasn't quite ready to go yet. But you know, I think I am now. They find his body in his office the next morning because he'd finally committed his great work and passed on the knowledge of the origins of the Inscrutables and sent a kid out on an adventure to go figure out what the fuck was going on with that.
I fully expected you to say he didn't eat fish. I fully expected it to be he didn't eat the fish.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say he chickened out. I thought you were gonna say he chickened out.
Well, he chickened out. He ate the fish. He just didn't do anything with it.
Yeah, that's also what chickened out.
I want to throw a little bit of something on there.
Butter that bread.
I'm gonna butter that bread. We're gonna put some aioli on it. I would love it if this young man has a companion on his adventures, and that companion is none other than the kid in Lightning Jim. That is the only other person that is as invested in the origins of the sanctuary. Like,
yes,
that is who has to go, and she's got the last fucking fish.
She's got the last fish.
Wouldn't you know that's someone from Nairburn and someone from Overton?
I was going to say, all important missions by this community are one from each community, so you gotta keep it up.
Yes, this has to be a patchwork at some point.
There's a space. There's a weird, when you examine the machinery with all the mirrors inside the two shrines, it's weird because there's this like space where it looks like another mirror, another lens would fit, and there's just not one there. And it's weird.
Is that your discovery?
Yeah, sure, we've got these like 12 cities that are connected by these, and there's a 13th one, that's where the Inscrutables come from, and whatever, but planting seeds.
That's cool. I love that. All right, we adjust the die. No projects complete this round. But at the end of my turn, I think 2 major projects finish, which is pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Zad, discover something new, hold a discussion, start a project.
I am going to start a project, and that project is going to be that the Overtonians are just fucking sick and tired against Scorpion, and so they are going to figure out how to live in relative peace and harmony with these giant flying scorpions that live on the underside of their bridge.
Okay.
That project is going to be, and let me know if this is if you guys don't want to do this, but that's going to be an 8-year project.
You're going to bleed it into the next, you're a sneaky
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
Bitch, that was my next plan.
You are committed to bringing these scorpions with us. They're on the bridge.
Look,
Yeah, they're gonna travel with the. I love it. I think that's very clever.
my plan was to do a project that wouldn't be done before the bridge vanished, and we just didn't see how it ended. That was my plan.
You still can, Lex.
I will say,
It doesn't hit the same.
technically, projects can only go up to 6, but we can also be game woven with it. I mean, 6 will still not complete.
We can
Hey,
be
hey,
brave
Move it
about
to
it.
6 then.
Hey, Avery, can you put the gun down for a sec? Is that okay?
No, we'll run it as a 6-step.
6 is fine.
Still not finishing anytime soon.
I love it. I get a card.
You get a card.
Fucking yes!
Yes.
Is it a good one, Ben? Do you love it?
You're gonna love this. This is a good one. You see a good omen. What is it? You see a bad omen. What is it?
Oh, men.
Boo! Tomato! Tomato! Boo!
Okay. I am not going to explain whether this is good or bad. I am just going to call it an omen. There is a conflagration of the spheres and an eclipse.
What?
When all the spheres align, there's an alignment that takes place.
Mercury's in retrograde.
There is a sort of a planetary alignment, and it's a very rare type of eclipse because we're on a moon orbiting a planet, and there's another moon, and then there's a sun. So there's a rare type of eclipse where the smaller moon is eclipsed in front of the sun, and we are eclipsed in front of the planet. Right? So it's like a triple eclipse. These don't happen very often. Conjunction of the spheres. Yeah, there's a conjunction of the spheres. Not conflagration. That means they're on fire.
Yeah.
My bad.
Also, when you said spheres, my brain did not think planetoids or satellites. I was like, what spheres are you fucking talking about?
You know, the spheres.
The spheres.
It can also be referred to as a syzygy.
What'd you call me?
Syzygy.
How dare you? I'm not a syzygy. Your dad's a syzygy.
That is a roughly straight line configuration of 3 or more celestial bodies in a gravitational system?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Did I
That's
start it?
what your dad is. You're a star child. And what happens is when this happens, the world is bathed in darkness for a very brief period of time. We're talking like 10 minutes. Okay? It moves fast and then it's over. But what happens is while this area is bathed in darkness from this triple eclipse, you can see all of the mirrors light up at once. And so every single one of them is interconnected for 10 minutes. And someone spots a very faint line reaching towards the location where the 13th mirror would be.
I was going to say all 13 light up.
Yep. It doesn't quite make it. It's very faint, but someone spots it and is able to chart the direction of it and figure out, like, if we put a mirror here, we could do this if that's something we want. So hard to say if it's a good omen or a bad omen, but it is certainly an omen.
That feels like you get a contempt for Nairburn and remove a contempt for Overton.
Oh.
Because Overton's like, oh, that's so cool. We just learned some of the cool shit. And Nairbird's like, fuck that. Get that out of here. That's inscrutable shit. Get as far the fuck away from that as possible.
Just, no. Not only is that like inscrutable shit, that was weird. We want nothing to do with this. I don't get you and your curses. Just, can you take your bridge and leave now?
Yeah.
Like, net, we're not losing anything. But it shifts.
So we adjust the dice. 2 projects finish. Brianna, how does that all work out?
Wow, perfectly timed.
I know, right?
It works out pretty well. I think having to travel together, especially for the 2 who had been feuding since pretty much the day they met, like, it allowed individuals to reconcile differences, and they also got to be connected to these other communities who, I mean, not all of them, I don't think all the other cities are in deserts. There might be a couple other desert cities, but they're in all these different places, and they get to learn more about the world in a way that they haven't before. So I think it's good, but also I think there are some people who decided to stay in those cities and didn't come back. At least one or two might have been Overtonian.
Oh, yeah. I have such a very critical question about that.
Go for it.
The
Go for
two boys that fought and got sent on a journey, are they married now?
We'll have to play to find out.
No!
Which one is the ring and which is the flower?
Which one is the
It
ring?
has
Which
to
one
be
is
a
the flower?
patchwork. We'll have to
That's what
play
we
to
all
find out.
I'm pulling a contempt off of Nairburn because they're like getting reacquainted with their heritage.
I also think we should move knowledge of the area from a scarcity to an abundance.
That is a huge abundance now. That is
Mm.
massive. Yeah.
They might even have been able to find a lot of lost history and start piecing together a lot of like lost knowledge. They're like, you mean we don't have to eat magic fish?
We can just learn.
You never did, if the knowledge wasn't completely lost.
I do want to establish it only makes it like all this like knowledge and history only makes it less clear which area if either came first.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like
Oh,
it,
yeah.
it just provides more evidence to both sides of equally like compelling.
And I think
Lord.
up above in the sky, in the heavens, while eating cake, DeGale is just having such a giggle over this whole thing.
Truly what we have is, I'm not in like the academic community enough to know, but I'm sure there is like an academic debate that has been going on for centuries and shows no sign of slowing. Like that is what we have right here.
Mhm.
It's like this will be debated forever and will never be resolved.
I
Yeah.
think that's beautiful. Rob, how'd it go with the spheres?
So I got good news, I got bad news. The good news is spheres work great and you can exit them without being shot out of a tube.
And what's the bad news?
Yay!
And also more good news, we're gonna figure out some stuff about the 13th mirror because they've started just driving that direction.
God damn it!
They work, but controlling them is tough. We are physical beings, and these were not made to be controlled by physical beings. So there are just some people that are now just going that way. Now, some people in Overton think they can maybe recreate some parts of this. Like, they're not gonna be able to make giant death spheres, but like maybe we're gonna get like some kind of weird magic engine type design based off of what they figured out from this. But yeah, no, we've got like, you know, let's call it maybe like close to a dozen people just like who didn't jump out of these orbs, they're going to where that 13th mirror was showing, whether they want to or not at this point.
Two spheres screaming across the desert.
Yeah, there's just like a little Mad Max
Right.
convoy of these spheres just beelining it.
That's why you
somewhere.
don't get in the inscrutable orb.
Yeah, I mean, listen. But I do feel like that the removal of these objects has like made the Blasted Lands a little less terrible. They've removed like one of the 1,000 problems, so it's still a bad place. It's still the Blasted Lands.
Little less blasted, little more lands.
Yeah, but like it's only like 90% a death trap instead of 100%.
They're not quite blasted anymore. They're just wasted.
Boo! Tomato, tomato!
Good. I love
Just
tomatoes.
keep rolling the junk, the deadly dangerous junk, to the super haunted rectangular building, and then see what happens.
Cannot
How many-
possibly go wrong.
That's true, and that's
Oh.
It's also proof that you could just do this with everything in the Blasted Lands, probably.
We appreciate our haunted helpers here, even if they
Yeah.
don't leave us something helpful like schematics.
I am going to start a very brief project, which concludes at the end of Lex's turn. And it's going to make everyone mad. A young seer from Overton and an old professor from Nairburn begin sneaking up to the mountain shrine and disassembling it, and they construct a pyre over the well on the bridge, not like a funeral pyre, but like a dais or something like that, and they begin reassembling it in the center of the bridge, probably about 10 feet up. And this will take them a year as other folk begin to join them.
Contempt.
Hey,
Yeah.
but or why?
The young seer from Overton believes that he has the spirit of a bridge caller within him, and he believes that he can sense that the bridge is going to move soon, and wants to relocate the shrine so that they can stay in communication with these communities.
Whereas most of Darebird's like, you can't just take that.
Bitch, you could make a new one.
With what? With what? What do we have to make that with? You were just taking a large piece of our history with you.
You're in the desert. Mirrors are made out of sand.
Mirrors are made out of eyes.
Why?
I don't get it.
So is that a contempt for Nairburn?
Yeah.
Yeah, someone's
And
already
Overton.
added it. They're just like, excuse you, what do you think you're doing?
I would like to know how they get away with this. Like, this takes a year and people just let them.
I mean, hey, it's about to be my turn. Maybe they don't.
Maybe they don't.
I feel like most of that year is going to be spent arguing with people. Like, the actual doing could get done in a week.
I think what it is, they remove it without anyone noticing. Like they do, like they could remove it in a night, right? Like it's just taking the glass out, right? And then once they do that, oh, do you know how to put this glass back in perfectly correctly? No? That sucks.
I think they have to do things piece by piece in secret. I think they have to do a lot of politicking. I think they do get some coverage from people on both sides who are true believers. But like, it is a complicated both political and engineering project that they're attempting to undertake.
I just had the unfortunate thought that followers of Degale might be Degalians. Dagalese.
All right, Lex, you're the final draw of the game.
It's the final card. Fiddly-dee.
I want you to know I did do it, but I was muted.
All right.
It's a good card. You'll love it.
There is a disquieting legend about this place. What is it? Or alarming weather patterns destroy something. How and what?
Whoa, boy. Oh, boy.
You really could just burn your bridges here.
You really could just fuck me over here.
Oh, boy. Oh. Oh, no.
Weather patterns destroy the bridge. Game woven is over.
Yeah.
They don't have to destroy the bridge.
Stay tuned for the next cross stitch.
We just scream a lot.
That could get destroyed.
Fuck! Shit! Fuck! Man, that was cross stitch.
What game are we playing?
No, there's a few things I could do with this. Genuinely, I'm spoiled for choice right now.
Oh, yeah.
And there's going to be disquieting legend about the Inscrutables' return, blah blah blah. It could be the weather thing did follow them, and I was right all along, and you all should have just gone with it, you fucks.
There. I mean, make a cannon, it's all you.
I can retroactively make myself incredibly smart and cool.
You have a staggering amount of
legend?
power here. Just
I really do. Fuck. No one they should have all of its power.
I'll just start something and then we'll yes and you can pretend you're sharing the power.
True. True. Okay, I think I'm gonna do weather shenanigans. I do have a question on what happens after this turn, out of curiosity, for ending the game. Because I can lean into the ending.
I was gonna do a little bit of an epilogue and ask how many people from Nairburn join Overton when it does leave.
Gotcha. I am sticking with the weather thing, but I think the reason the weather starts in earnest and a storm comes through, lightning splitting the sky, rain falling in a desert that hasn't seen rain in a minute, is because the tension came to a head over the moving of the shrine.
Oh, yeah.
And I think there was a standoff between some Varakwi and Overtonians. And the storm, like a thunder crash, stood in for a war horn that started the fight. And in the storm, as winds are howling and neighbors become enemies, is when the bridge leaves.
Yes, Lex. Yes, because I love the idea of now it's not how many Nairburns chose to leave. It's all the Nairburns, people who wanted to fuck up some Overtonians and beat the shit out of them. They're the ones who leave.
And I think what the storm destroys, I think I'm gonna. How much contempt do we have right now? I'm gonna check.
Currently sitting 2 and 2.
What is a lot of contempt for this game?
There's 20 total contempt tokens, so I was feeling 5.
We're not doing.
We're actually in pretty decent shape.
Gotcha. Okay. Because I was gonna say if contempt was high, I think it would have destroyed the other shrine, so they lose communication.
Oh, that's still really good.
What if it destroys what's left of the sanctuary?
Ooh, I can't do that to Lightning Jim. He's already lost so much.
Lightning Jim's in the wind, baby. Lightning Jim.
Is that
Oh, is the
same-
kid not here anymore? Is the kid gone? Oh no, the kid is gone.
Yeah, she's
I
on an
forgot.
adventure.
The warehouse.
Ah!
The warehouse.
Whatever was inside is out now.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, good.
Hey, I love the warehouse.
Yes, the warehouse.
Oh my, that has quite the ramifications. And what's really fun is you have now pulled the camera away from Nairburn,
Hey.
so we don't actually know what happens when the warehouse gets destroyed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
I think this is another good news, bad news situation. Good news. There's gonna be more of those orbs, those orb machines. Bad news.
Good news, we might find out what the ghosts are. Bad news, we might find out what the ghosts are.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Oops.
I love the trope of good news, thing. Bad news, same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where I live, baby.
I love that. Yeah, the bridge is gone. I love that you. Oh God, that is so poetic with how the bridge left originally as well.
Hmm?
Oh, that's outstanding. And what's even better is you didn't blow up my shrine, which means that project finishes and the shrine is complete. So wherever the bridge ends up, they've got their fun communication mirrors. Yay!
Yay!
So, Lex, you get to discover something new, hold a discussion, or start a project.
A 12-year-old child.
Again? You're always 12.
The kid was a 12-year-old child.
What? The bridge has been here for 12 years.
Oh, yep. Good point.
Oh, yeah.
It's not my fault we keep saying 12. a 12-year-old child who had parents, one from Overton, one from Nairburn, whose both parents are gone on the bridge, in a sort of like fugue state of frustration and sadness, wanders into the blasted lands and sees one of those glass swords glistening in the sunlight.
Yes.
Yep.
That's my sword.
Yeah!
The glazing.
No, 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 no.
And we're done.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
that. And no.
Absolutely not.
Yes.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh.
No, they're the crystalline.
Just, I mean, yeah, probably, but like,
Oh.
Oh, the weird implications. What is it with us, like, cursed/god-killing weapons? When in doubt, every weapon is either cursed or can kill God, or
It's
what?
like violence
I'm innocent.
itself is a curse.
curse. Yes.
That by striking something down, you are fundamentally changing yourself. Many would say for the worse.
Oh my god. And that was the quiet year.
Whee!
That
That's
was
fun.
Spring.
Oh, that was so good. Oh my god. Oh, that was wonderful.
Oh, this arc is gonna be nuts. I'm so excited.
Yes. I just want to say my original idea for my second project was going to be basically the Overtonians were going to basically put like a bunch of books into the warehouse, being like a bunch of like yes no questions, a bunch of short answer questions, with like essay questions, and like really test the limits of what the ghost helpers were.
Rob, if you ever wanted to do a patchwork of that, there is a game that is almost exactly like that. It's about two artificers like communicating through time and writing. It's Well, thank you everybody. That was Game Woven. That was the Quiet Year. One season. By the way, that was one season of the Quiet Year. There's 3 more seasons. We've got to do a summer, a fall, and a winter, and the prompts just get gnarlier the further we go.
Yeah, this was our season where all the prompts are nice.
Yeah, this was the nice one, and we still ended it on like a big Shakespearean dramatic moment. So that's really exciting. We are going to next up is this is a game about fishing, right?
Yep. I mean, that's what's on the schedule.
Yep. Stay tuned. We're going to continue the formula where we establish a new setting, and then a bridge shows up and ruins everything, and also makes everything okay.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Thank you all. Thank you everybody for playing. Good night. Goodbye. I love you.
Love you
I
too,
don't.
Ben.
Thank you for listening to Game Woven, a collaborative storytelling collective building a world one game at a time. This week, as part of the Basberg Bridge arc, we are playing The Quiet Year by Avery Adler. If you like what we're doing, feel free to go and support us on patreon.com/GameWoven or follow us on social media at GameWoven.